Hey guys, sorry if these bonus advertisement video things are annoying, but it's, you put the work in to make Patreon perks, and then the only way to really communicate it to your audience is to just basically make another video about it. So, today I just put up the Fear and Hunger finale on Patreon. For those that don't know, for a long time we pretty much ran the Patreon on this voting system, which we still have, but that was basically like the primary perk. But I launched an early access tier for $5 a month, and so I've pretty much just been going straight from like from farm to shelf. The moment I record any particular session for like say 3 to 5 hours of a game, I pretty much then set that to render and get it uploaded, and then instead of worrying about the whole schedule of like when do these videos come out and my big balanced like complicated schedule stuff, I pretty much just send it straight to Patreon. In addition to the whole part where I schedule it for public eventually. So Patreon gets these big 3 to 5 hour chunks of each playthrough a few times a week, and they're often very far ahead. So in this case, Fear and Hunger is all the way through to the finale, where I think part 5 just went up today. Here you can see we just started Black Sad. In this case, Toaster was hanging out and doing Black Sad, and I've been meaning to do Black Sad for a while, and I've never gotten around to it. And I actually don't currently have it planned when this will come out and what slot exactly, or when it probably would come out in the indie puzzle slot, but given the current situation, I probably want to play a puzzle game next before I air this, so this might be Patreon exclusive for a while, but I'm planning on recording it weekly with Toaster, so it's going to be weekly because his character's name Weekly. This is probably going to be coming out relatively frequently and might be completely finished on Patreon before it even airs publicly, because it has to wait in line, essentially. Here's Echo, so obviously people are a fan of the Echo playthrough. Me airing the next season, the Flynn season, the finale chunk of Echo, is waiting until Stephanie and I finish recording all of Echo. But while it's in limbo waiting for however long that might take, I am just putting the chunks on Patreon as they come out. I think we have like 9 episodes done basically across like 2 videos. So if you want them as fast as possible, any amount of wait between updates be damned, then you can do that, as opposed to waiting for it to be ready to air as one continuous thing. And then of course Zelda, I've been making a point to play Zelda every week, even though I'm really far ahead and it's unnecessary for my schedule. So let's see how far. Zelda's like 13 episodes in right now publicly, and we're 29 episodes in on Patreon, almost 30 hours in. Part of it is that Patreon seems to like it, so I kind of want to just keep them happy and record it weekly, even if I don't need it for my public schedule. But also, like, I want to play Zelda. I don't want to sit here and take breaks either necessarily. So I've been going at it unnecessarily, essentially, just diving in. So if you want to find out how I managed to get 30 hours into the game and still haven't touched the actual main story, that's possible. This was just a vote about something. Hi-Fi Rush, I think 1 episode is up so far, and 8 hours of it are on Patreon right now, so it's pretty far in. I think this is probably like 2/3 of the game or something. I think that I'm getting close to being done with it at this point. This is a post I did that's just like a long update about stuff, like a blog post type situation, and it has a link to a preview draft of my next video essay that I'm working on. It's like, I don't know, maybe like half the essay, I'm not sure. I wanted to have it done during Pride Month, and that might have been possible at one point, but there's like art stuff being worked in and props and things, so that even if I did finish writing it in time, I wouldn't be able to finish recording and editing it for Pride Month because there's extra things. It's gotten too big now. It's too big. But I'm happy to finally have something that looks like it's going to be finished at least soon. So look forward to a new video essay on the Boring Keith channel, and you can preview some of that here and also just read some of my messy, complicated struggles of just running 2 channels at once and all that stuff. And this is just some fan art I put in the thumbnail because... In addition to the normal Patreon vote, which is how we got Fallout New Vegas as a playthrough, I sometimes just put bonus votes up just here and there of like, here's some games I'm thinking about, we want to help me pick one? And so we do have more votes than advertised sometimes, intermittently. So this vote here is where Hi-Fi Rush was chosen, right over here, and that's why we're playing it. Here you can see that we held a vote for the next visual novel and the whole furry visual novel slot, and Password has a pretty commanding lead. So that's going to be the next game that we play after Arches / Echo / maybe before the Flynn route of Echo / maybe I hear Password is long, so maybe we have to find like a natural hiatus point eventually to put it on pause once the Flynn route is done and ready to air, so I can then air that for a bit, then go back to Password. I don't know exactly how that's going to work. Maybe I can split the time slot to be 50% Password, 50% Flynn. I don't know. I think by the time that Arches finishes airing, Password will probably be ready to air, and Flynn probably won't be ready to air, so it's just... But I don't want to wait until Password's completely done to air Flynn. But see, this is why scheduling is such a mess, and it's nice to be able to just throw stuff up on Patreon. But the obvious downside is that almost nobody actually watches content in this format. And in particular, I think most Patreon subscribers probably have their favorite playthrough that they wait to get emails about and aren't necessarily watching a 3 to 5 minute video multiple times a week. But they can. And here we have Arches. You can watch all of Arches. In fact, people have been able to watch the entirety of the Arches playthrough since before it even premiered on the channel, because Toaster and I actually binge recorded the entire thing within only 1 week, and I got that stuff up as fast as I could. So this was waiting on Patreon for the TJ route to end so that I could then air. And it's still there. So if you've been enjoying the first half of Arches, you could binge the second half of it right now and find out what goes on with the whole Brian situation and so on immediately. You know, besides just playing the game. You can see our reactions to what happens to that immediately. But anyway, patreon.com/SebastianSB. Weird URL username. I know it's defunct old stuff, but there's links everywhere anyway. It's how the channel exists and is run and is funded and so on. I'm going to go back to trying to write now. Bye-bye.